Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress.
Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do.
Owatonna Public Utilities.
Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us here on the Owatonna Today Show. And as I said, we're going to be shedding a little light on the subject. Joe Green joins us from the Owatonna Public Utilities. Welcome.
Good morning.
It is very nice to have you here. Just so folks know, your position at the Owatonna Public Utilities is what, Joe?
I'm Director of Gas and Water and Power Production, which, right now we don't have our power plant, but maybe in the future we'll have some more generation. I'll oversee that as well.
Okay. And what keeps you busy on a daily basis in that position?
I supervise a couple different departments, and along with there's supervision, there's customer questions and inquiries, including from residential to our large industrial customers. And we work on budgets and just a wide variety of things that you need to have in place to run a utility.
Yeah, and we've talked to Roger before too. I think you guys kind of wear a few different hats during the course of a day and the course of a week. And you've been there how long?
10 years this year.
10 years already.
I know, it's hard to believe.
Good for you.
I've
You're doing a great job.
Great community.
And you wanted to bring something today, and we love show and tell. So he said, can we plug this in? Can we show this? And I said, yeah, we love that. This is great information that you're going to be helping us with here today. So we want to talk about lighting, or you want to talk about lighting, I should say, and the different alternatives that are out there. And I think we've known that there have been some changes coming that have to do with the tried and true and old, and once upon a time they were the only bulbs, the incandescent bulbs.
Over 100 years we've had the light bulb.
Over 100 years we've had that light bulb. That's the original. But over time, what have we found out about the incandescent bulb?
Well, just in the last few years, as everyone knows, that the lighting industry and the technology has changed very rapidly. And just now, in 2012, the 100-watt incandescent light bulb will no longer be manufactured.
Okay.
And there still will be a supply of those, but what's replacing those are the compact fluorescent bulbs, and then the newer technology we'll talk a little bit about is the LED, or the light-emitting diodes.
Okay.
And I think there's confusion out there. I think when the initial compact fluorescents came out, the CFLs, the longevity wasn't there, the quality wasn't there, the color wasn't right. And so I think people are really looking for some help in choosing the right light bulb. So what we've done is, along with CERTS, which is the Clean Energy Resource Team, they've developed a lighting guide, and we've had that on our website, OwatonnaUtilities.com. You can go there, you can click on the lighting guide, and I think will provide a lot of help and information for customers in choosing the bulbs for their homes. People are looking for value. They're looking for comparable light, which is your brightness. They're also looking at color. I think when the first CFLs came out, they were very white and probably not as
kind of cold looking, even
yeah.
A bluish cast maybe to them. I think that's the big thing that happens, or it seemed to happen with those original bulbs, and it didn't necessarily. The difference could be even the room or the colors that you have in your room. Say you had a painted room, you would find a very different look if you had fluorescent light on it, or if you had incandescent light. And so now we're seeing some of those technological improvements with the newer bulbs.
And it would change the color of your walls. A lot of times people didn't like the color of their walls after they changed the bulbs.
Yep.
So the other thing is, when the compact fluorescents first came out, longevity was an issue. There maybe was a long warranty or life on the packaging, but they didn't last as long.
Okay.
So what customers need to look for, obviously, is the Energy Star logo on the package.
Okay.
And the different bulbs that customers might have in their house right now are the incandescents, and from a variety, from just a few watts up to 100 watts or maybe more.
Okay.
Halogens, customers recognize halogens because of the heat that they would give off.
Oh, sure.
And the compact fluorescents, and then more and more you're starting to see the LED technology. The cost is beginning to really fall dramatically, and I think you could compare that to when the new TVs, the flat screens came out, the cost, and now the cost of those are down there very, if you want to call it, reasonable. And Over a 10-year period, an incandescent bulb that we have had in our home, or still have in our homes, a 60-watt bulb over 10 years would cost you around $160. The halogens, about $110 over 10 years, but they don't last that long because of the heat that they would give off.
Okay.
Compact fluorescents, about $43 for a 10-year cost.
Okay.
And the new LEDs, about 85% less than the incandescents that we have at about $40. And they're just a fraction of the wattage. The energy savings is tremendous. So.
Okay. Well, let's talk about, because we have show and tell here and we're able to do it,
Yes.
the one we see on the far end that's not lit up, but there you can.
No, it is.
that bright white?
That's the 100-watt
You got me
bulb.
with that one. Yeah, that's a 100-watt bulb, which is now not being manufactured anymore. Again,
You can still buy them.
you can still buy them, I'm sure, and they won't become like collector's items or anything, will they?
You never know.
No, I was thinking there's probably no reason to save those, keep them on hand. But they're not as efficient, certainly,
No,
as
they're
many
not.
of these. So then you switch those over, and we've got the little meter there that's measuring, what is that actually measuring?
Well, this is measuring the watts of all 4 of these other light bulbs.
Okay.
And this is the equivalent of a 100-watt bulb. This is about 23 in that 26-watt range.
Okay.
This is what they call the candelabra bulb. That's probably only about 6 or 7 watts.
And that's a fluorescent?
That's a compact fluorescent.
compact fluorescent with
You
a
can
little
see
blue in
within
there.
that the curly
The tube thing?
compact fluorescent in there.
Okay.
And these are just some other, this is another example of a compact fluorescent that maybe might match something, I don't know if it would be in a,
Well, maybe a little more closely where maybe the bulb shows. I'm thinking of some of the
Yes.
light bar
More of a
type
designer type.
things that you might have used an incandescent bulb or something like that, or even a little globe that might fit a little more aesthetically.
correct.
And then
And
that
the last one
one's
is
a
actually an LED bulb.
little- Okay.
I know the light
shining up.
is shining up, but that's only approximately 2.2 watts and has the equivalent of a 15 to 25 watt bulb.
Wow. And that particular one right there looks like it's made for like an eyeball or a flood or a spot type
spot
of situation.
type, yes,
spot
in a
type
small
because it's heading
area.
straight up. Okay.
I think we have one over in our house in a cabinet
Okay.
that shines down on some glassware that we have.
So there are really a number of opportunities and options to look at right now for energy savings, for aesthetics. Again, at one time, I think we only saw the twirly fluorescent bulb way over next to the incandescent.
This here.
And I think a lot of people found that, they said, well, it's not really attractive. I've got this chandelier and you can see the bulbs and I don't want that and the light colors, but they are really, as you mentioned briefly, come a long way with the colors now.
Color, and if you look at the bulb packaging, from soft white to cool white.
Okay.
Cool white is that bluish that you mentioned before.
Okay. Soft white is something we're a little more familiar
That's
with.
That's what's similar to your incandescent. That's
Okay.
what your people are familiar with.
But I see things like daylight too, and that's going to bring a little bit different, almost like
Different color.
daylight into the room, so
Mm-hmm.
that's going to bring a little bit different look.
And I should mention too that this is just a very small representative sample of really what you can purchase out there.
Okay. So LED technology, isn't it, and fluorescent has been around long enough. Again, those
A
have
long
to be
time.
disposed of in a certain way. Maybe we should talk about that too. We need to dispose of our fluorescent lights. How?
We do take them at the utilities.
Okay.
There is a small amount of mercury in the compact fluorescents. So as everybody's switching their entire homes over to compact fluorescent, that they need to be disposed of properly.
Okay. How about the other ones like LED or halogen? Do they need a special disposal?
The halogen, I believe not, and I'm not sure about the LED.
Okay. So just something
We have more
to check
information
on
on our website.
Yep, we like that. And we're not going to expect you to be an expert on all of this stuff here, too. So a lot of good choices that are out there. I think, in addition, costs are coming down for the bulbs themselves,
Right,
too.
and I should mention very quickly our rebates for compact fluorescents for your homes. 50% of your bulb costs, OPU will
Okay.
rebate that. LED cost 10 watts or less is a $10 rebate. 10 watts or more is a $15 rebate, and if you find a fixture that has LEDs in it, it's a $20 rebate.
Okay. Now, you mentioned changing bulbs in the home, and we have just a little bit here before we wrap
Mm-hmm.
up. But a good idea or a good plan to do that is to kind of keep track of what you're
Yeah,
doing.
look, inventory what you have in your house,
Okay.
and keep track of that. So when you go to purchase them, you're able to match what you have in your house.
Well, great information. And again, we're going to direct people to look for this very document that we had here on the Owatonna Public Utilities website. Lots of good information there. as to how to purchase, what to purchase, and how to get the best bulbs for your home. So Joe, thank you. Great information today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. We'll take a break for our supporters, and we'll be right back with Leanne, Connie, and I think we had Fletcher and Cooper in here for the Humane Society.